Hi and welcome to the Peace Diaries, formerly known as the World Affairs Truth Report. This is the first in the series, the Peace Diaries, that we've been guided to do, to change up the format and to change the focus, I guess. Although it's not really to change the focus, because the World Affairs Truth Reports came out of the Coming Times, the book, and the strapline to the book is A Pathway to Inner Peace. So it's not so strange that now we're being guided to really kind of hone in on assisting and helping to activate and to understand more about this inner state of peace that the DC are really trying to guide us to. It's very close to my heart because I feel like it's what I've been trying to do for years and years and years now. And they've, I'm very grateful for the guidance that I've been given on trying to shift from what was a place of inner chaos into a place of inner calm. And it's been an interesting journey. And so I'm excited to see where we go with these. And so the format's different in the sense that I'll still be reading verbatim the report, the report that the DC will channel through me each week, and I'll write that through automatic writing. So that's exactly the same. And then Jed will join me, and it would just be slightly different. We're just going to have slightly more of a conversation, and we're going to see how that goes. Give us any feedback, would be welcome. Yeah, let us know. Let us know how it lands with you. And so, yeah, I'm gonna read you this week's report within the new format of what will now be named the Peace Diaries. Welcome, beautiful souls, to what we are now calling the Peace Diaries. A place for you to rest and relax into yourself as we take you inwards for self-reflection and connection to the true you, as we assist you in activating peace from within you. This is a very holy mission, and one that should not be underestimated. Even just consciously allowing your awareness to consider the possibility of inner peace is a wonderful place for you to be. As part of the Peace Diaries, every week we'll deliver an activation or meditation, giving you the opportunity to tune into and embrace the frequency that we are leading you to. As we've mentioned, inner peace is a very holy place to be at, but not in the religious sense. Yet we know when we use the word holy, something is activated within you. It is an activating word. There are many activating words, and this is one of them. Holy has many connotations, and the way we are using it is in its highest vibrational way. For you are holy, and therefore aspiring to be anything associated with being holy feels at a deep level very good to you. But we will say it again, not in a stereotypical way that has been associated with religion, that has very pious connotations to it. Holy equals being authentically embodied in your true self, recognizing the divine being that you are, remembering who you really are. It's a stepping stone. It's a feeling within you. It's a lessening of your thoughts over you. It's experiencing more and more of the silence that lies at the heart of you. It's becoming present to you. You are a miracle and should treat yourself that way. Life, like the nature that you are a part of, is sacred. So very sacred. And the sacred should be adored and respected, wouldn't you say? And so should you be. A love of self is needed more than ever before, as a catalyst, as a springboard, if you like, for giving yourself permission to live in the way we are helping to guide you to. Life is supposed to be fun, lots of fun. Fun in a peaceful, joyful way. An appreciation of living life in a different way. A life that you genuinely feel gratitude for. There is a difference between saying gratitude and feeling it. One can say it for a long time before they really feel it. It's when you feel it that the alchemy takes place. Why? Because feeling grateful is another high vibrational activation point. The word gratitude alone isn't, yet the feeling is. It activates in you more reasons, more things, more experiences for you to feel grateful for. It states, this is how I want to feel more of the time. And remember, when your cup is full, you are far more available to assist others in filling theirs too. Follow me by my example, says the way shower, so that you may too experience how I am feeling and being. What a catalyst and ripple effect that can be. Like the river leads into the vast ocean, so the more who merge with the frequency and feel it and embody it within their own consciousness, the more they affect the vastness of the bigger consciousness as a whole. They feed into it. And this is where we wish to leave you this week, with the high vibrational teaching and remembering that consciousness creates. Where you are at within is everything. Yet the one at peace says, I accept myself exactly where I am right now. And where that is absolutely perfect for me. No judgment, no I should be further along, just an acknowledgement of an intention to become more and more holy within yourself, in remembering who you really are. Welcome to the awakening of peace from within you. We love you, the DC. Okay, so like I was doing before, I'm just going to close my eyes and just see if any additional meditation or activation wants to come through me before Jed comes and joins me and we unpack the report together. Okay. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We ask you if it's convenient to just close your eyes. Just for a few moments. And just start to feel the softness of yourself breathing. Just noticing the air coming through your nose. And just starting to become conscious of your heart space. Just becoming aware of your heart space. Just sitting there for a moment. just resting, just being, just allowing whatever noise might be going on in your mind to be there, not resisting, just giving permission for your body to be still, as if you are consciously drowning out the external world and becoming very present to your inner world. Perhaps starting to notice that you may feel uncomfortable in the chair or wherever you might be sitting or lying, and perhaps becoming really more aware of the noise within your head, if you like. And then bringing your awareness down to your feet and down to your toes. And just feeling into your toes, from your little toes to your big toes. And just becoming aware of your feet. And then imagining that at the base of both of your feet is an energetic silver cord. Just see if you can visualize or imagine a thin silver cord at the base of both your feet, as if it's just appeared and you're becoming conscious of it. Just connect into that silver cord at the base of both of your feet. Now follow that cord. It wants to guide you down. Follow your gift of awareness, your gift of imagination, and your gift of visualization. As this cord asks you with your awareness to follow it. And this cord is moving down and down and down. And you're just following it down with your awareness. And it's going to be different for everyone. But the cord is going to stop at its natural place where it wants to ground. And as you feel the cord stop, perhaps you feel a sense in your feet of energy coming through the silver cord and up into you. And just imagining that wherever your cord has grounded, there is no right and wrong. Perhaps for some of you, the cord, you're still following it down and down and down. There's no right or wrong. Just getting a sense of this energy coming up through the silver cord, coming up through your feet, then to the base of your spine, moving up, up, vertebrae by vertebrae, as it then moves into your mind. and your mind being filled with this energy that has no name, yet can be felt. No expectations, just allowing this energy in as it moves up through your spine and into your mind. And just sitting here for a moment, just allowing whatever feeling, sense you are receiving, just let yourself be here for a few more moments. Just sitting in this space. Anytime you are feeling your mind racing, allow yourself to take a few minutes out and to try this exercise if you like. It can become more than an exercise if you listen to our voice, if you like, our mouthpiece, our energy coming through to you. It will have a calming effect on you and help you to come back to center within yourself, to feeling more grounded within yourself. So we offer you this little exercise and suggest listening to it again and again as a way of helping you to become more centered and more grounded within you. We love you. Hello. I'll put that meditation separately, especially then if you just want to stay in the space and not come out of it, then you can do that. So yeah, I'll do that separately. Okay. And now Jed's going to come and join me, and we're going to unpack this week's Peace Diaries.
Wow, welcome to Peace Diaries 1. Numero uno.
Yeah.
It's very different for us, but we feel like we're being led in a way that is in alignment with us and our beliefs, and that of the DC and whoever else is supporting them as well. So we're very comfortable with this direction. Hope you are too, because there's a lot of noise out there that is, dragging people's attention and dragging you into a low vibration. So I think these and other things that will be coming into reality, I suppose, later this year, are definitely focusing, giving us a little haven of peace. It's not something you can stay in all the time, but it's something that we need to step into at least once a day, and the more you can, the better.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that this is much more in alignment with us, because It is genuinely what we're both trying to do. It feels more of a collaboration in terms of I think when you channel or when you receive a lot of guidance, I think there needs to be a balance between what's really in alignment, what feels in alignment with yourselves, as well as what you're being guided to do. Then it just feels very, I don't know what the word is.
In flow.
Yeah, I guess that's the right word. Yeah, more in flow. So we are going to unpack the reports in a slightly different way now, where I'm going to ask Jed some questions about how he, from his perspective, so it's very similar, you're still going to be giving your perspective and your help in us kind of understanding these high convoluted wording and understandings, if you like, because it's big, you know. Talking about inner peace it's big. It's deep. It's,
you know, I think it's going to be more conversational. In the past I've had a number of hours through which to review Helen's channelings, written channeling, sometimes more than a day, and to put my own perspective on it. And then, you know, it's impossible for my mind not to get in the way of those things, and that'll be my feelings, which, you know, they're fine, they're all valid, and I've always encouraged everyone else to do theirs, but this is a bit more spontaneous. So we have glanced at it. I mean, it's new for Helen as well, because she channels it and then has to read it, her human self has to read it afterwards. And so we're kind of putting ourselves on the spot a little bit more, but more conversational, spontaneous conversation and real-time, I guess, intuitive responses. So maybe the information, this is all new to us. We're fascinated about, or certainly interested about what's going to come out. And yeah, I mean, hope you can join us, and please put anything in the comments that you might find helpful for us. Helpful criticism is always welcome, but negative criticism is not. So keep that to yourself. But yeah, honest criticism about things that could be improved on or added to, then absolutely, we welcome all of that. So, I mean, I'll start by commenting on the meditation. And they've promised in the opening sentence that they would provide something every week, and that's a commitment from them, not from us, but we will be working in with that. And if, you know, today's meditation is anything to go by, then we've got a lot to look forward to. I personally struggled with the cord coming from my left foot to anchor that. It kept retracting, and if an energy of frustration or even anger was coming up at that, and also I think that was the root cause of it. And if you subscribe to the Dolores Cannon school of bodywork, then the left is old energy, i.e. childhood in this life or even previous lives, and the right side is current. And so I need to scurry away and go and work on why I couldn't ground on the left side, or why I couldn't find peace on the left side, if you like, because that was the intention. So that's the kind of information you're looking for. It's like, and without getting, you know, too wrapped up in it, just being curious about, well, I wonder why that was, and then go back to the meditation a day or two later and see if it's changed, but invite the change. So I found that very helpful.
Good. And then maybe try it again and see if it feels differently.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to do that tomorrow. Same time, same place. So are you aware of the meditation while you're channeling?
I am, in the sense that I started to see a silver cord, and I wasn't quite sure what I was doing with it, if that makes sense. So it's like I can't properly do it myself. So I'll do it as well, because that's what I found with, like, I think the activation last week, when I actually did it myself, I felt a lot from it, but not really when I'm actually in it, if that makes sense. It's more that I'm just trying to follow to make sure that I'm bringing through what they want me to. So yeah, I'll do it. I'll definitely do it and see what happens. Yeah.
Nice. Well, yeah, well, looking forward to more of that.
Yeah.
And like Helen says, that we put up as a separate YouTube video.
Yeah.
If that's what you could call them, videos.
I think so. I think it is, just so that you can listen to that separately, and then if you don't want to, if you want to then just be in it, you can be. It will just stop and you can stay in it. Yeah.
We'll try it on Instagram too, but they keep telling us off because it's too long. And they'll say we'll never be heard. We challenge that. So delving into this week's channeling.
Yeah. So I think the first thing that I wanted for you to explain a little bit about really is inner peace. Okay, so they talk about inner peace is a state that they're leading us to, and I suppose I know it's such a big subject, but I suppose when I hone right in on it so that I can understand it at its most basic level, I feel like I'm trying each day to have more and more silence within me. So that's kind of how I perceive it at the moment. And as the days go on, I'm starting to notice, oh gosh, I didn't think for a while, or I didn't even think about that. I just kind of just got on with it, and it felt really silent within me. And then also noticing when there's a lot of noise going on. So for me, bringing it sort of into a basic term, that's kind of how I perceive inner peace to be in a kind of like day-to-day way. But how do you perceive it to be from your perspective?
I think it's well, first of all, they've referred to stepping stones in this, and they've always said that this is like a pathway, or they're a stage post, and so I find that quite reassuring that we're not expected to get to the last day of the course without going through the rest of it. And so practice. Humans need to layer everything. We need to hear it over and over and over again until it becomes our truth. And I think sitting in peace for a few minutes a day is not that really difficult or hard work. There's going to be techniques, and certainly that meditation is one, because there's a lot of felt sense. So you've got to focus, and all of a sudden you're in this slightly different state. But I think in the real world, inner peace means for me when you get confronted by a situation, traffic jam or train issues, or people that have said something to you, triggering stuff, where your response is different to what it used to be in the past, where it feels you almost question yourself. It's like, well, why am I not freaking out at that? Why am I calm in this situation? And for me, that's what and evolving inner peace is. I am practicing moving towards inner peace, and I'm meditating a lot more, and so I'm starting to see that I can almost control, if you like, the way I feel. The deeper and the longer I go into a meditation of checking in with my body and just noticing how my body feels, something starts to change. And the more and more you do it, the longer that lasts, and the quicker it arrives. So that would be my...
Yeah, I think that's great. Yeah, I think that's a very good example. Thanks for that. So the next thing that I wanted to talk to you about is the word holy, and the fact that they describe it as an activating, as in the DC describe it as an activating word. So for me, as I was reading this back, and I was almost reading the word holy, I did feel that to me it was an activating word in the reminder that at the crux of us we are divine. However, I'm also very aware that they mean it as well, in that holy can be a very triggering word. And I just thought it'd be really helpful if you could give a bit of definition around that.
Yeah, for me, the word holy is definitely more triggering than activating.
Yeah, yeah.
Are they the same things? I don't know. Maybe we need to be triggered to be activated. It's quite a complex.
Yeah.
For me, activation on a sort of spiritual, educational level, if you like, is that there are dormant aspects of your DNA that are turned on, and so you can use that. And it's becoming online. So it's a part of you that was sitting there waiting, and is now part of who you are. And the suggestion here that holy, or the meaning of the word holy, is activating some dormancy in your DNA. That's my thought.
Yeah.
But as a human, and as someone who was brought up in the Catholic faith, I find the word holy very triggering. I would never sort of personalise it or even say what schools I went to or whatever. It's kind of irrelevant, but judgment, criticism, penance were certainly active components of that faith, and it's a faith that I don't really follow anymore, if at all. It doesn't interest me. I have no faith other than in God and myself. I think I gave up. I certainly questioned the Catholic Church from a very early age. We used to go to confession once a month, and we could tell all our sins and then be forgiven. And you go in a little box, sit behind a curtain, and the priest was on the other side, who would listen to your offering and then give you some prayers to say in punishment for whatever you'd done. And I remember going one month where I'd sworn or something. It's kind of juvenile stuff. I was a kid, I was like 7 or 8. But the following month I went behind the curtain and I said I hadn't done anything. I couldn't remember having misbehaved in that month. And the penance I got was exactly the same for the month before, when I had been misbehaved. And that was a kind of a gift for me, because either the priest wasn't listening or they just followed some kind of generic punishment schedule that a 7 or 8 year old had. And anyway, I'm rambling on, but I really questioned the church at that point. It pulled the plug out of it for me, fortunately. So yeah, the word holy triggers me still. If they spelt it differently, maybe they can put a WH. That would be very different for me. But I imagine it comes from an old Hebrew, or before that, Sanskrit.
Yeah.
Because all the letters of the alphabets have tonal sound activations in them. They're not just letters that form words. There's a depth to them which is vibrational. So I assume that the word holy, if it's said in the correct way, is something to do with opening you up to spirit in some way.
Yeah.
So I would do my best to set aside all my old beliefs that don't serve me anymore, and I'm going to look at holy as being what they mean it to be here, that there's another component of us which forms our wholeness, if you like, which is the spirit self, the soul body. And I think that's what they're referring to.
Yeah, I think they are, because from my perception, I see, it's so interesting, isn't it? Because I see that word holy as the same as divine. But that's because, I grew up in the Jewish faith, but I questioned from a very young age the supposed holy people, because they just didn't feel what I perceived as holy. And so I suppose I've always had this inner belief that holy is divine. And so, yeah, it's interesting, isn't it, how we all have, and probably if you're listening, you've probably got your own perception of it too. So I think that they're probably getting us to actually wanting us to talk about it and discuss it, because at the heart of it it, like they say, it is an activating word. So yeah, that's
Didn't you come across the rabbi in KFC once?
Yes, I did indeed. Mr. Holy Man, who in the Jewish religion, they're not, they're only allowed to eat what they call kosher, which means that the meat has been certified, and it's very strict on that. And they're very judgmental, and they tell everybody in their sermons. And yeah, that rabbi was in KFC, which is really funny.
Not to be named, or
very hypocritical. Yeah. So yeah.
So that's our take on holy.
Yeah. Okay, so the next bit I wanted to talk about and highlight from the report is what they talk about gratitude. And I think it's certainly something that I can really, really relate to, where they say that, what do they say? Let's just go back to it. They say that there's a difference between saying gratitude and feeling gratitude. And I can remember when I wasn't in a great place, and I was quite, battling within myself really. And I was starting to journal, and I was starting to write what I'm grateful for, and not feeling a connection with the words that were written, and feeling pretty bad about that I actually, honestly, didn't feel grateful, because at that point I was feeling pretty rubbish, and probably feeling like a bit of a victim, and feeling a bit like, oh, woe's me. And I was finding it hard, even though I was writing it, to actually feel it. And then noticing the difference in actually feeling it, and how different that is. And I wonder if you've got any wisdom around that difference.
Well, do you remember there was a specific day where that changed, or was that just an evolutionary process?
It was definitely a evolutionary process of keeping going with that practice, actually. I think it was a combination of starting to meditate. It was like starting to meditate more, starting to journal more, starting to notice more I was grateful for. And then I suppose it's like what they say, isn't it? The more you do that, the more you start to see it. Things start to change, don't they?
Well, yeah, I mean, there again, we've got layers and layers before we know things. We cognize things first. We understand it. Sometimes we'll agree and sometimes we'll disagree with it. But the layers and layers, it becomes unknown to us. So I think you can start. I think just the idea of feeling gratitude straight away is very difficult, if not impossible. But you can observe yourself saying thank you to people, or observe yourself if you've not said thank you to someone, and just notice how that feels. But when you do say thank you to someone, just think a bit deeper about it. It's like, what, you don't have to say it out loud or even tell them what you're doing, but just what you're thanking them for. The fact that they've made the effort to make you a cup of tea or whatever, it's just the seemingly simple, meaningless thing is actually an act of kindness from somebody. And that's a vibration, and that's coming from the heart. So if you're expressing gratitude, you're linking in with that energy, and that's helping you, in a deeper way. I was saying to Helen before, there's something, I think it's called Tibetan food mindfulness, was the origin of what we know as mindfulness today. But it's certainly been said to me. I've never fact-checked that, but there certainly is a place, I think, in London called the Tibetan food mindfulness temple. And so the monks are served up food, and they have to spend, I think it's 3 minutes, backtracking everyone who is involved in that food arriving on the table all the way back to God, or whatever you want to call it. So, that's the creative source energy, and that's the earth that's providing the foundations for growth to happen. That's the farmers, the transport, the cook, everyone involved in it, and they've got 3 minutes through which to express gratitude. by the time they finish that, they're very grateful that they can eat it. They've just spent 3 minutes and they're probably starving to death.
So it's probably conjured up a big feeling.
So maybe there's more to it than we say, but it helps them to focus and to stay still and to put their mind in just considering people who are involved in your life, simply by putting food on your table. So there's a lot to contemplate, but the easier one for me is just when you say thank you to someone, think a bit more about it. Why are you actually doing that?
Yeah, that's really nice. Brings it right down to an easy level to understand. Yeah,
yes.
No, I like that. I like that. And, another thing that really jumped out to me with this report is where they talk about accepting ourselves exactly where we are right now. Now, to me, this is actually the complete, really the complete opposite. If we're talking about like the difference between religion and what we're following, it's so opposite. Like where they're saying no judgment, no, I should be this or I should be that. Like they're encouraging us to accept exactly where we're at, as that's perfect for us. And I think that's a really, really hard thing for us to do as our human selves, because we're so conditioned to self-criticize. Like it's so much more normal for us to be self-critical than it is to actually pat ourselves on the back, even if we know or we're not being the great version of ourselves, and say, well, that's okay. And I don't know how would you advise for us to meet closer to what they're suggesting we should be able to do, which is I accept myself exactly where I am right now? Well,
I mean, there's a can of worms, isn't it? And
sorry, it's a bit of a bit.
the majority of the contents of that can of worms, as far as we're aware, are steeped in the 3D human. We all want to keep up with the Joneses, if not get the better of the Joneses. We want a better job, we want a better house, we want a better car, all of that stuff. And all of that stuff is okay. And I think what they're saying, or what they're not saying, is that you shouldn't have desires or want to change or improve yourself. They're just saying be okay with right now, in this moment. Because if you're not okay with it, it means you're not in the moment. You're somewhere else. You're either fearing the future or dwelling on the past or regretting the past or whatever. And so, again, using these meditations and other grounding techniques, it's just about being at peace with this moment. And with that peace comes space, and then energy can come in and move, and then reality starts to create itself based on how you're feeling. That's a different level. That's not the 3D human, that's moving into the spirit realms. But that's how real reality works. So I think the only way, without talking about this for hours and hours, is to consider that there's a spiritual component to life. And that there's a lot goes on in that spiritual component that we're not aware of. And the more you can find some stillness, the more that the gifts of that spiritual realm come into your reality. And also, if you're somewhere else all the time, your energy is not in the moment where it's being needed to support your immune system, to allow you to feel in the moment. So you're missing out on things. Because if you're not here always wondering about something else, then you've missed out on opportunity. So it's like, enjoy the moment as much as you can, even if it's difficult. There's something to learn there. There's something to experience and change or grow from.
Yeah, absolutely. Because in some of those moments, if you are fully accepting that moment where you're at, even if it is making you feel really emotional and really sad, when you've come through that, there will be some kind of shift, won't there? So it's like allowing ourselves to be present with whatever is coming up, in that moment.
With my practice with acupuncture and various other things, that if there's people with chronic illness, it's very inspiring for me when they come in and say they're bored, because at that point they're ready to heal. They're over the other side of the hill. They've got past the serious part of their illness. And boredom is a great marker for wanting something different. And I think the same, we're talking about the same thing here. The dissatisfaction of being in the moment is because on a soul level, there's a lot more. But I guess, is it an oxymoron? Or the counter to that is that to get to that place, you've got to be still.
Yeah.
So that would be my take.
Yeah, no, thanks. That's a great take. So they were like the main points for me of going through that I kind of wanted your perspective on, but I don't know if there's anything else that you felt that you wanted to add.
So going back to the very beginning, that part of the first paragraph, this is a very holy mission and one that should not be underestimated. Even just consciously allowing your awareness to consider the possibility of inner peace is a wonderful place for you to be. So that mission includes the non-physical and the physical, and we're a major component of this. It's our mission, a combined mission to create peace. There's a lot of, noise out there if you want to go and look for it, and some of it you need to know about, but then you just need to turn it off. Once you become aware of it, you don't need to know anymore unless you are an activist or you're involved in that particular event in some way, shape or form. Otherwise, just appraising yourself of the situation, but then choosing peace changes the game. So it's mission peace. That's what we're being asked to do, and it's not burying your head in the sand. It's changing the energy. Because if we don't, we're just creating more and more of the same, and it will keep going on until we decide to choose peace. So we might as well choose it now. Yeah, and they spoke about you are a miracle and should treat yourself that way. When a baby's born, we all look at that situation as being a miracle. So why is it just a baby? You continue to be a miracle as we grow up into larger beings that can, look after themselves, read, write and do whatever. Well, that's still a miracle in my mind. But we start to think less of ourselves based on conditioning, and we're being asked to really challenge the conditioning now. And since Freud came along, we've learnt an awful lot about conditioning. And now that energy is changing, we have to say no. And you've got to pull the energy out of any conditioning or programming or any sort of beliefs that don't serve you anymore, and say no, I'm choosing a different way. You can start by choosing peace. Let that be the beginning or the intention, and honour yourself for doing that, because the collective consciousness will create peace, and that also is a miracle. And so we've got a lot to look forward to. We will create it. The sooner the better. So yeah, over to you to join the mission. They're saying life's supposed to be fun and lots of fun, and fun in a peaceful and joyful way. That can be sometimes make you feel like you shouldn't when things are really difficult. But it feels to me like there are two lives existing simultaneously, and one which we need to be aware of, we need to understand and recognise for its low vibration and the horrors that are in it, but it's also not to ignore the peace and the joy that are coming in on another level. It's like literally two timelines working alongside of each other. The propensity should be in the joyful and peaceful one. So lean into that as much as you possibly can. Right, well, we're off to KFC now. Only joking. Thank you for joining us in Peace Diaries 1.
Yeah, any feedback would be really welcome. Like if you want to put any comments or anything, that would be great. And we look forward to seeing you same time next week.
Dare yourselves to do that meditation every day between now and next week, and then see how you feel, and then leave us some comments, because I promise you'll feel different.
Yeah.
It's very high vibrational. So thank you, and we look forward to seeing you next week.
Yeah.
Or you seeing us. We'll never see you. We'll feel you.
We might do it at some point though, hey, when we do something. All right. Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.